Yo, what's up, X fam? So, Xraypc back again. We're gonna be making a Mecha Break tier list. I promised I wanted to make this one a little bit after I already got to play the game enough. I got to a highest rank. You know, judging from the previous like actual invitational, going into this, I wanted to see how the meta shaped up, how the meta changed with all the with the all balance changes, the new characters, how everything fleshed out. I already laid out. This is exactly my thoughts on it, and then I'll just break it down after I already placed them out. So Meta has Vulcan, Aquila, Lumine, Pinaka, Stego, Stellaris, and then with going down to Great, we have Tricera, Hurricane, Falcon, Inferno, and balance usable with balanced. When I say balanced usable, that means they are still like fine on a team. If you're insane at the character, you're gonna be making this character look amazing. And if you're terrible at the character, the character is not gonna carry you to just do highest damage in a lobby. You might run into like how Panther. A lot of people think Panther has horrible stamina management, and then you watch somebody like Yinzi or you watch like other people who are Panther mains at the indestructible rank or at the I guess the legendary once enough people get there or I guess champion. Um, they feel like you're watching them play and you're like, I don't understand what they're doing differently than me. And the same with Elysinus, where Elysinus could feel like he does no damage, and if the people who actually know how to use his burst gun properly and then who know to why to tap it, they know why to use him. They know how to get in, do as much melee damage as possible without having to run out of stamina problems. And he doesn't have the comfortability that Panther has, where he has ability that gives him stamina back. And even then, people run out of stamina with Panther. So now think about Elysinus, he has none of that. But Elysinus does have the ability to have multiple lives, and then now they buffed Elysinus little form to have the extra thing in it, and then Sky Raider is in there too because I'm gonna work my way back up just to with the explanations. But Sky Raider is long range beam gun, it does tons of damage. You could use like pretty much cross map. That's why people count him as like a mini sniper, flight based character. So he's hard to hit, has all the twirls and all that things up loop. The same as Falcon, except he doesn't have the downward spirals. Falcon does a Falcon only ability. But other than that, it's pretty much like a more long range Falcon. But in the right hands, can be the most annoying character in the game, especially against energy characters. It can deny energy damage, and then you can just sit in the energy ball thing and then kind of kite through it. So the energy character pretty much can never kill you, and you can kill them the entire time. But it's just so hard or so much to the character that most people are gonna just think the Sky Raider's bad. Um, Especially this new meta with Aquila and a lot of energy based characters being at the high top of the meta, you Scatter is going to be a lot more prevalent. You're going to see a lot more when people learn the character. And the niche, I'll just boom go out as real quick. Serenith is a niche because the main reason that you pick Serenith right now is just for the long range ability to take objectives. His damage is okay, but the survivability, the character is terrible. You have one ability that just pretty much makes it so you have the same thing as Welkin, where you can make, and I guess Stego, but Stego's like full on mist, smokescreen. But Welkin's is like he pops his shield and then has a mist on top of that for him and anyone around him uh, to be untargetable. But the problem about Welkins is I said a shield, but also he also deletes energy damage. So in a giant AoE dome, except for this like the really small back area of him, like this really tiny back part, like the Death Star, and you're shooting like through that little crack for them to blow it up. That's the only way to hurt Welkin. There's like a little tiny part of his back that you could shoot. And then if you finally can target him there, and I could shoot my Achilles son, and it actually stuns him and takes off the shield and everything. That's the only way. Serenade does not have that. Serenade is just untargetable, purely untargetable, and that's cool. But the problem is that you just don't have any energy regen. So Inferno, who's pretty much like he's like Inferno, where he's like hyper reliant on your team. So Inferno without a good team just feels like like an okay character. Like you could do a lot of damage and then it just dies instantly. But if you have a good team around you, you could do the most damage in the entire game. It just melts through Triceras, melts through Stegos, melts through a bunch of people, and has the ability when he pops his three that in a sense is untargetable because every time he dashes it leaves shadow clones, so you're constantly being taunted by the shadow clones. And then you have if you're a sniper you could take your targeting off, but then you have to like remember where he is between his after images. So if he's like kind of weaving in and out, it's hard to hit him. And then he could turn it on and off. I think this is a recent change with the season 0 thing. They said they tweaked that ability. I can't remember if that was the thing, but yeah, you could turn it on and off now, so you could like turn like use it, dash, dash, dash. You get up to 3 dashes really quickly, and then turn it off and still have a 3 second cooldown instead of the 18 second cooldown that it goes up to if you just completely let it go. Um, so and then if you use it like 1, 2, 3, one more dash, it'll go to the 6 second cooldown. But that's like last case scenario, like you really need to get away from somebody. And then also on top of that, it gives you stamina back, a big energy boost back, and then does over time. And then also it gives you shielding. It's giving you shielding back. So you're getting shielding, you're getting your stamina bar, you get those little after images, and he is immune to stagger, so you can't like melee stun him over and over. You can't hit him with an Aquila stun, anything like that. Anything that does any kind of stagger is immune to. I think the only character for some reason that goes through the stagger immunity is Stellaris, aka the person at the top of meta. But other than that, like if you mess, he does it. He grapples with the shadow clone. It won't mess with you, and you don't have to worry about that. So that, and then you compare that Serenith has damage, pretty good damage, but then it's like you're relying on you're more of your right click to get the big damage, and if you fully charge it, it's so easy to just you see the big red laser beam and you just dash away from it. It's really just more for like Tricera Stego type of characters, and there's only 2 of them in the game that are really like gonna be abused by that. And he's more for like the objective game modes where it's like, oh, I could just drop my full charge right clicks on the objective over and over again, and then steal it. Like if your Welkin is doming on it, you could grab it from the outside from far away. So they have to look at you and look at this Welkin who's domed, energy barriered, and all this other stuff. And they have to constantly shoot at him and stop him. But then they don't realize you're grabbing it from far. Boom! Then you just got the drill. Or even the I Miser type game mode, you could just grab it there. Those are the 2 game modes I think Sereneth's really good on. Other than that, it's just terrible. Like you're not going to use them on TDM, and you're not going to use them on payload. The payload is still always moving, and then so you're going to shoot your right click. You got to kind of aim it and just shoot it at the ground. Hopefully, it doesn't target somebody. So you have to pretty much like aim at the ground without targeting somebody, and then shoot it ahead of the payload. And then the payload obviously is just going to move into it, and then the person's forced to be off the payload, and then your tank can like use that time to jump, or Welkin or whatever can use that time to jump on their payload and force them off. And I think if you have your targeting like your one on the payload, like the enemy payload, and the enemy jumps on it, I don't think it takes away. Like I think it will continue to move back in a sense that you're still on it. It thinks you're still like because you're activated on it, and so they have to go and chase you away. So you can kind of mess with people like that, and you can use it to move your own payload if maybe the tanks can't get on yours for a little bit, and you don't want to just jump on top of it and like sacrifice your life. You can still play the range, pop your thing on there, and then still shoot your gun while it's happening, and you can kind of walk it. So there's like things to it. If you're insane at Serenith and you're playing on a 6-man team and your team plays around you like they're playing around on Inferno, then like you could probably make it work. It's just there's so much work to be done for that character to live. You might even have to use it on like a Panaka Lumine team, like Panaka Lumine Stego Hurricane, and then you have like that's like 4 characters already, and then you have to have a Welkin to dome on top of you just in case to protect you, give you the energy barrier, make you untargetable as well. And then he's like a melee deterrent, so he can protect you from those. And then you could pretty much have to be the guy who does all range damage for your team pretty much at that point. I guess Stego can help you a little bit. Stego does obviously a lot of range damage, but yeah. Narukami is the niche tier because I mean, just why would you use it over Aquila right now? Aquila is just that strong. There's the meta has always been Aquila was better than Narukami, but there were certain maps where Narukami's had somewhat of an advantage. Like let's say the original Domination map. Let's say a Crop Single. Let's say some like that one payload map on the final point and the beginning for a little bit. You could kind of get away with Narukami, mainly the end point. But then once it's inside the middle, you're pretty much useless. Let's say I am Mizra, pretty strong there. The drill map was probably your best map. But now that everybody like Falcon, Sky Raider, and with Serenith, if they run in a really good Serenith, has like the longest range reveal in the whole game, but it's only from the front. That you're just gonna get revealed in stealth and to his whole team. Whoever's using the Falcon, the Sky Raider, and the Serenith, and they're playing those characters, and they reveal you, you're revealed to the whole team. So not only is the Falcon already die bombing you over and over again, you have to deal with that, but the enemy Aquila now can just see you instantly and just pop you, and you're dead. The enemy Stellaris is going to hunt you down insta, and you have to worry about Stellaris as well, who can go invis and then kill you. You have to worry about the enemy Stego, who's gonna can shoot from like a mile away, and you have multiples of missiles hitting you the whole time while you're running away from the Falcon or the Sky Raider, and you're like the squishiest character in the whole game under the Falcon. So like you get revealed once, it's over every single time, and it's so unfun. And they did make the grapple hook work to enemies, but you can like hit them and then you will grapple through them like over them, and then they'll be stunned in place, and then you'll be invis just like as if you hit a grapple hook, but you're not like locked to a wall, and it's invis the moment you hit the grapple hook. But the grapple hook range is so short, and it doesn't really lock on as well, like how Akila's like tracks you, or other characters like the what is it? The Stellaris grapple hook. It literally, as long as you have decent tracking, it will always connect, and you will always just hit the one again and then just stun them. Or Serenus is really easy. It's point click, and it has a really big range that it doesn't have the break. But like for some reason, Narukami's is like you shoot it and it just goes nowhere and you die. And it's so short range. Like I have to be that close. Like that melee's on me. If he's already hitting me, I'm probably getting hit stun and I'm dead. So yeah, it's pretty annoying. Most of the time, you're just gonna grab hook to like the ground and then jump and then pop your one to go invis again and then go somewhere. So like most of the time, you're not really thinking to grab hook someone. You probably get that off like once a match. Yeah, but that's it's just like there's no point. I mean, like you get big damage, but then you get like one or two shots off, and you're constantly having to move. And because it's, radar characters are always moving anyways, and because you have to move all the time, you're just not getting your full damage off. You can't really set up really well. I never struggle with the Narcomies. I see your shot one time, and if you miss me, you're dead because I can just go where your laser beams are and just kill you. Um, Panther. All right, I explained that whole row, so I'll just go straight to great. Inferno. The reason I put Inferno in great and not meta, even though obviously in the tournament, if you watch the whole tournament, there was an Inferno every game. The reason why there's an Inferno every game for them is because obviously 6-man team in a sense of the top level of the current time of the game, and they've been playing every single test ever, and they've been sweating and doing like pugs and scrims and every single test, and so they work together so much, and all you to do is say help me, and that's all, and somebody will turn around and insta run up welcome dome that person that's on you. They turn around and stego bombard that person. The healer instantly pops you with heals constantly, that you don't have to do anything. You either don't have to say a word because they played it with you long enough, or you say one word and they help you instantly, and you have like 2 or 3 people helping you. So when you play Inferno in the full team environment, he looks like the best character in the game. In the full team environment, he pretty much is, other than Aquila. But when you're playing ranked and you're playing solo queue or even dual queue, Inferno is going to feel horrible, especially if you're not that good at the game yet. If you don't know how to utilize his 3, then cancel it really well and be on top of that. If you don't have enough, like a lot of these characters also rely on APM. If you've never really heard that term before, it's called actions per minute. Some games that are famous for that is like StarCraft and things like that, where like let's say like Falcon has the most APM. You have to do the most with Falcon and even kind of Sky Raider. But let's say like even Inferno though, you're like you hit 3 dash dash 3 again. Remember, look, you're like holding like left and right, like the same time you're doing all that. Then let go, then hit 3 dash dash, and then holding left click right click at the same time. And then you have to hit 1, dude, to keep yourself in the air, and then let go, then bam. And you while you're keeping the air, you made sure to kind of angle yourself above the person, so your right click, your left and right click full charge knocks you backwards up in the air more, and then you keep gaining distance, and then you use 3 again so you can get your energy back a little bit, and then a dash dash, and then land for a second so that you can get your energy back fully. Then you hit your 3 again, jump in air, jump, and then cancel it, and then hit your 2, and then you stay in the air longer. There's so many things you have to do with that character, and then constantly worry about with the melees. Time your 3 so you get stagger immunity on top of the shadow clones, that most casual players think Inferno's. I made an Inferno guy and they're like, oh, this character's terrible. This character needs a huge buff. And it's like, no, they literally actually buffed the character. They really buffed the character, and he was already the best DPS in the beta with the tournament. You want him buff more? Like, what do you want him to do? Just annihilate the entire team like he used to in the original betas, where he just single handedly dropped 15 kills and like 3 million damage every game? Like, like no, sorry, you just don't know what you're talking about if you think he needs a buff, even more of a buff. I just think he's just a team reliant character, and that's fine. Some characters need to be team reliant. Not every character needs to be like Aquila, who could do everything, or Welkin, who could do everything, Illuminate, who could do everything, Panaka, who could almost do everything, Stego, who could pretty much do everything. Like he's in a sense a shield healer, so he's a healer. He missed you. He this that. Stellaris is in a sense the melee that can in a sense do everything. Like he has the range attacks. He has the stun that could like I'll explain it later, but like everybody on meta tier is somebody who could pretty much do everything and not, and it doesn't really have that big of downside comparatively to a lot of these other characters. Like Inferno's downside is he's tame reliant. Let's say Falcon. Falcon's downside is insanely squishy and has the highest skill requirement in the entire game and the highest APM requirement in the entire game. So not many people are going to be playing Falcon at, oh yeah, always show this clip, man. I always show this clip. Like people don't believe me. And I'm like, hey man, watch. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this clip. Let me remember who I sent it to. There you go. All right. When I say Falcon's hard, it's because of this.
For Eva so far.
They're getting the bot. They're moving first. It's one of the biggest things. You can get stuck in a fight so easily, especially on these maps where objectives are spawning and you have to move. A lot of times it could be across the valley and over the mountain. Oh, kills coming from everywhere.
The average player is not doing this.
As well as beyond.
You could be like, I hate Falcons all the time when I'm playing Aquila or when I'm playing Inferno and playing whatever.
Chasing them down.
But most Falcons are not doing this. I just need to get better. I always get like, I need to get better to kill that person, and then I get better, and then I show everybody that's in my rank again, and then I meet the new best Aquila Falcon I go against. I'm like, all right, I need to get better to beat that guy. Because most people are not playing as good as Ken. I've not seen one person the whole tournament except for one other person play as good as him.
For Eva so far.
They're getting the bot. They're moving.
And if you didn't see it. He's right there. He just canceled his form.
One of the biggest.
So the thing is, a lot of people play Falcon and they don't realize you could just cancel form to instantly turn. They just do this slow turn and they're like playing like it's a freaking normal plane game. They're going as hella far to do a longer turn to come back. And I'm like, bro, I just like you're playing. It's like think like you're playing Transformers. Does Starscream fly 20 miles to come backwards? No, he flies and then if you dodge, he just and then goes back in normal form, and then like uses that to cancel all momentum, and then just goes right back the next direction. And it's like that is what Skyraider and that is what Falcon are. They are straight up Transformer characters. And on top of that, he has his shift button does the twirl, and that does makes you immune to targeting for a short time. Even if you go out of form, like you do a twirl into out of form, then like for like a half a second, you are still immune to the targeting stuff for a second there. Obviously, you're a full hitbox now, so it's easier to hit you, but yeah, you still have the no targeting. And then if you do up loop and down loop, same thing, you have no targeting, and then you can animation cancel that by going out of form. So you can go like up loop into animation cancel, and then go back into form, or you can do up loop into down spiral. You could do down loop into down spiral. You could, and the down spiral too makes you immune to the targeting. And then you have your rockets. You do insane AOE damage, or I mean, you do blast damage. You do ballistic damage. So you have two different damage types, and that is also a thing about a lot of characters. It's like maybe with certain like. With Tricera, he's highly resistant to blast, he's resistant to ballistic, and he's highly resistant to melee characters, but he's weak to energy characters. So when like maybe the more meta tanks they keep adding, they're like, let's say right now, the main meta tanks are pretty weak to energy damage. It's a lot easier for Skyraider or Aquila and all of them to be stronger. But Falcon is still strong regardless because he just melts every other character in the entire game. And even then, you can melt Tricera because literally one of your challenges for the thing to even get the title is to kill a Tricera solo in a tiny, like literally all these like buildings and like and stuff. So you like kill them within tiny little corridors and buildings and all this by yourself, no help. And you could do that, right? So if he could do that, now imagine like somebody who could do that all the time anywhere, like this guy or the other players like Anubis or I think Orca had one. So you could like those players can kill you at all times, no matter where you go with this character. But then you play it and you literally have energy problems all the time. They didn't nerf the energy by 400, air energy by 400 from the beta, but I don't think it affected that character that much. Like some people are saying like all of a sudden he's not meta anymore. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm like, he still does the exact same damage. He actually buffed his survivability a little bit. All they did is nerf his energy by 400 in the air, forcing you to not be permanently in the air. Like maybe sometimes once in a while you have to land and get your energy back real quick when you're not in danger. You know, you have to do that a little bit more often, just a little bit. Sometimes you can land next to your team, just play by your tanks for a second, wait like 3 seconds, and it'll go right back up in the air. That's fine. Land right next to crystals and utilize the crystals all over the maps. The crystals give you energy, you know? There's so many things in maps that help you, but that's why I keep him here. I don't think he could ever be like high meta, both all the flyers. Maybe like in the last beta when he was a lot easier, but now that he's a lot harder, I'll keep him in great. But let's move on to Hurricane. I think Hurricane and Tricera, I was just talking about them together. I think they're interchangeable. I think Hurricane is more on the maps of, let's say, Hurricane's better on a maps with the capture type objectives. So I like Hurricane more on like Crop Cinco, the domination maps. I like Hurricane more on the Eye of Mizra style map with the like the satellite thing, or like you have to capture the node and then take it to the rocket or whatever it is. I like Hurricane on the drill map, the ones you have to collect the drills and you get up to 8 points. And you have his dome, you have his right click, that is a personal shield for him and can parry melees, and you spawns a little shield, like an aerial shield that also taunts targeting. So like I'll be about to shoot somebody, and if I don't have the targeting off, my shot will just go straight right all of a sudden because it scanned that it had the hurricane shield on my screen, and then bam, right on inside of my reticle. So that could mess me up a lot. And then he has the same giant AoE laser beam thing that Inferno does, and it just shoots laser beams everywhere. It's not as good as Inferno's because Inferno's can also be used like close range easier and do just melt everybody in the entire game. While as Hurricanes is like weird. Like you try it in training, like run up to a Tricera and go in melee range, use Inferno and use Hurricane. It's like the lasers will try to go around him for some reason, and you'll only maybe get 2 or 3 of your like 6 or 8 laser beams, you know, to hit him. He has like this easy to use like energy gun that's like a rail gun that does like AoE damage when you just normally use it, but if you fully charge it, it's like a big AoE blast. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The characters was really easy. And then you have Tricera. Tricera is the plant down in place, gets a huge giant shield. You'll see like the blue extra health bar when you fight him. That is the giant shield he gets when he's planted in place. He's immune to stagger in it. He's more resistant to like melee in it. He's already insanely resistant to melee. He can parry melees in it. He can, if somebody's on him and he pops it, he will knock them back now as the new change they did to Welkin, him and Sego. He does decent damage. He doesn't do as much damage as he used to. He's not as tanky as he used to be, but he's still like the tankiest in the game. But he's just not like this unkillable wall. I'm trying to remember. I mean, his rocket ability is really good. You just always every time it recharges, it gives you 3 charges back instantly. It doesn't do one at a time. So you every time you get it back, it goes pam pam pam, and you just hard stagger somebody, and it does insane damage. Other than that, like you can't really help fight like the long range characters, and there's so many good long range characters, and the Stellaris is really good now, and I'm gonna transfer that into Stellaris now because let's say Tricera, he's really good on the payload map, and he can be used on the objective capturing maps because when you obviously pop your thing, you're taunting just like Hurricane. I feel like most ultra heavy defender characters are released will have that taunt mechanic in some way, shape, or fashion. But then Stellaris would say like with this thing where he's taunting. Okay, well Stellaris is one hits you with the grapple hook, stuns you, but he's immune to stun, and then slows you and reduces your dash distance as well. So that's a bane to Tricera and Steg already if you're trying to run away from him. But the thing is, when he puts the stun in you with the first part of the grapple hook ability, then he hits it again and then does this lance thrust, the same it looks like Panthers, but Panthers is a one melee attack because it's his right click. It's part of his left click, right click. So it counts as a melee attack. So he could be parried. And it's a normal stagger. So Tricera immunes it. But Stellaris is for some reason, and I don't know if it's a bug or I don't know if it's intended because they haven't really like clarified it. I don't even think the challengers even said anything like, hey, you could take a Tricera out of his stance. Or at least I don't remember. Is you could take a Tricera and Stego and anybody out of stance. It ignores the stagger immunity state of any character. Even Panaka Shield, it will just turn off the Panaka Shield and you'll just stun that target. I'm pretty sure Inferno, if you somehow got the grapple hook and went into him before he hit his 3 and started dashing everywhere, you'll move with him wherever he goes until you finally hit him, and then you'll just tackle him, and then his ability will just turn off, or at least he'll still get hit by the stun. And it's just so dumb. And it's like the easiest, as long as you could hit it onto a flyer and hit it your one fast enough again, you'll just go into the flyer no matter if they do twirls or not. Or even then, if they somehow twirl and then you kind of miss them, I mean, you're still in the air and all you to do is just hit them with a 3, hit them with a 3, jump, hit them with a 3, and then hit them with a 1 again while they're constantly hit stunned. And then boom, and then you'll just hit them again. And then you just like left click, right click. If you miss, you'll just fly past them. If you don't, then you hit them with a jump stun and you'll take them all the way to the ground. Character's annoying, or you'll fly right through them just like normal jump melees. But yeah, And then he has a ranged melee. His ranged melee also hit stuns you over and over. It literally puts you in stagger state over and over and over and over. And it does take more stamina, but it is pretty annoying if they can kind of time that. And I fought with Stellaris's that have had 600, 700, 800k damage. They've had like 15 kills. They're the most annoying in the lobby. I'm playing Aquilo at the time, so I'm always having to deal with him. Like 1v3 him. I have to kill him, and then their enemy Aquila, and then I have to like kind of help on point a little bit, or there's a flyer on me, so I'm like constantly dealing with a lot. And Stellaris can go invisible as well, and the invisibility breaks stagger immunity as well. So he has two things that break stagger immunity. He doesn't have to just wait the shift button, which is a cooldown. He has two things, and then when he goes invis, you can't target him. Obviously, you can't even see him unless he does an action or if you accidentally hit him. So he's literally like Narukami, except with 30 times more mobile and can do about the same damage in the combo. So yeah, like it is literally just a dumb character, and they'll probably tweak it, and he'll always probably remain like a great character. He'll be like Falcon, or it's gonna be like this insanely high skill cap. But I just don't think he should be able to take like Tricera out of his stagger immunity. I don't think he should be able to do the Stego. I don't think he should be able to just turn off Panaka shield. Like, why does he just ignore the rules of the game? Any character that can just ignore the rules of the game is just I don't know. I just don't like that. Stego is, let's move on to Stego. Stego is the ultra heavy attacker, right? So let's say the ultra heavy attackers, I think, is just Inferno and Stego. Ultra heavy attacker means their defenses are just insane for being a DPS, or just in general. There's ultra heavy defender, ultra heavy attacker, the highest defenses of those categories. And Stego is also a plant-based character, a plant-in-place type of character. So he can plant in place and puts a shield out, and now all those deployable shields push people back. So you could literally, I watched a clip, he literally just kept jumping, doing it, knocked the Panther off of him. The Panther wastes his dash or wastes his lance into it, and then he has keep getting missiled, and then there's moments where he's more about like big fat burst damage, like just hits all of his cooldowns at the same time, left click, right click, and hits like his 3 button, I think is the other one. And it literally just, and you just see millions of missiles, and they just slam you. You're like an Aquila in the air. Don't think that this dude does not hurt you. You have to constantly move, slam into the ground with your alt button, something, because he will melt your whole health bar. And just like always. And then they nerfed his health by like 12,000 base, I think, even. And he's still one of the tankiest characters in the entire game. His miss also heals shields, so you have to worry about him being a healer for his team. So they could have a normal healer, Stego healing, and even a Tricera if they want, and Tricera heal. So you have to worry about that as well. So it's literally like multiple healers on one team pretty much if they're doing that comp, which most people do. It's just the easiest comp in the game. It's just healer, Stego, Tricera, or healer, Stego, and a Hurricane. It's just the easiest comp in the whole game. He just does so much damage, and then the mist also stops targeting, makes everybody inside invisible, so it's all on top of that. No targeting, and they're invisible. And the only thing to counter is like Falcon and all the other characters with reveals. So that's the only way to do it. And then this character, dealing with him on the desert maps is like annoying as hell. Like if you don't have him, it's the desert and the lunar map. One, he's going to have an easier time to catch the objective. He just makes it harder for you to understand who's grabbing point. He's also tanky. He puts a shield out from him. And then the mist is just, the smoke screens is annoying to deal with on top of the desert storm or the lunar storm. Let's move on to Panaka. Panaka I put in a meta tier because him and Luminate's talking about them together. They're both just, you just need them. That's it. You just cannot play the game without the healer. They made Panaka have a ranged left click now. So you will still like, you could do it from range, or if you hold it, you'll dash into them and do it from range, and put the range like tether on them. But it used to be a melee heal only. Like you literally had to rub their robotic nipples, and that was the only way you would heal them. And you had to literally beg people to not move, or they would not get healed. And most of the time, you would see, even if somebody used in the tournament, which is like 1 in a million, in that invitational tournament, but they used it on certain maps, very certain meta. He went from niche. And they nerfed his walls too before, because he used to be able to. I used to be able to do in summer beta of last year. I used to be able to do 1.5 million. That was the first time he was playable in the public beta, and literally I was doing like 1.5 million, dropping walls on people and doing my shoddy blast, or just annihilating people's health bars. He went from number 1 character down to unusable, a little bit back up to niche in that last beta, and then now he's back to meta. He's the highest single target healing in the game. Illuminate is the highest AoE healing in the game. And then Tricera can kind of keep up with them a little bit. And obviously Stego is just AoE shield heal. So it doesn't really, all it does is it just starts your shield regenning process. So however fast your shield regen is, that is how much healing he does. But it doesn't really count to healing. He doesn't get healing numbers from it. If he did, he would have the most healing in the game. But Lumine can get like 800 and 900k easy. because AoE heals off you healing more targets. But if you're really good at Panaka and your team is playing around you, you're going to get the exact same amount of healing and more damage and have a higher chance to kill targets. Lumine can kill targets because she saves her second skill to kind of chase people down, pop her dots on them when they're one shot, and then stay on them, stay on them, stay on them, and then just use the rest of it to run away because she gets infinite stamina. And that's why she's really good. She also has the one ability where it's like AoE damage in, or you go for damage from the healing form, it'll be AoE heal. And then you have, that's why she's insane. AoE healing on top of being able to just left click, right click one person, left click, right click another person, left click, right click another person. And then you're kind of like playing off of those. And you usually keep two drones on two different people for sure. And then you might be able to get at least one more drone for the most part. You might be able to get all six, but then the first person's drones will be pretty much gone by then. And then you have to reapply it again. And so, yeah, usually you apply maybe like, you usually want to look at people who are taking the most damage. Obviously, you maybe keep it on your main tank, so whoever the Tricera or the Hurricane, and then you would look around like, okay, my Keela is fighting their Keela. Pop, pop. Let's see. My Falcon is half health, but he's trying to help the Aquila. Pop, pop. Okay, and then use your second skill to get over there to help him. Then cancel it so the cooldown shorter, and then you could use it. Let's say you come back and you pop, pop. Heal my main tank again. Oh, he'll pop, pop, hit my Vulcan so you can keep going crazy on the point. Oh, pop, pop, like whatever. Like, so it's point and click. And then the same thing, you swap the damage form after, let's say you do pop, 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 and you hit it like, you heal two different people. You swap the damage form. Look who's like half health or something, or who needs to be pestered with the damage. Oh, the enemy Aquila, pop, pop. Oh, the enemy tank, pop, pop, whatever. Whoever you need to do it to. And then when they're low, you're the main person other than like a Falcon or somebody to chase people down because your things do health only damage. So just like a melee character, you're doing health only damage. It doesn't even do like energy where it's like half and half, like shield and health. It's straight up health only. So it is annoying when a Lumine is straight up on you. You're like a Aquila up in the air. You're like a quarter health, and you're ready like trying to deal with the enemy Aquila, and then Lumine pulls up on you, pop pop, and then they hit you with their skill. They pop the AoE damage thing, and they're kind of like dancing around you and killing you over time. And maybe they get you like you're even low enough for the Lumine to kind of focus you. But usually a Lumine might want to just do that for a second and then use the rest of their skill to kind of get back with their team. And then they hopefully helped enough for you to run away somewhere and they're wasting your time, so they're lowering your damage output. And then making it easier for the enemy, Aquila or Panther, Stellaris, whatever flyer to kill you. And it helps with like stopping people from getting objectives. You could pretty much stop people as long as you hit them with the first part. The initial hit stops them from getting an objective. And then I've never really noticed this, but it's supposed to be, I think the damage over time, every time it ticks and it ticks your health bar, it should stop you from getting the objective. But sometimes I feel like I've hit people with that thing and then they gotten the objective anyway. So I'm not sure. Like they'll grab it again and the damage over time doesn't stop them. So just to be safe, constantly just left click, wait, right click, wait, left click, wait, and then they won't be able to grab the objective. And then obviously you have infinite stamina and you can just heal yourself. You can just drone, you look at the ground and heal yourself because the drones will only go to you then, and you're just unkillable and annoying. So yeah, those are the two characters. Also, Panaka's shield makes UCC immune, just so you could abuse that. You throw it on somebody getting doped by a Welkin or about to get lanced by a Panther. Just Stellaris is the only one that denies that. So another meta character. Keela, obviously, one that pretty much does the exact same, would do the exact same damage as Inferno or really good Welkin player or a Stego player. They all can kind of do about the same amount of damage depending on the map and or how good they are. But Aquila is the most mobile character in the entire game, other than Illumine when they have their second skill popped. The Panther when he has really good usage of his second skill, or like a Falcon Skyraider. They're like the most mobile characters in the whole game. So on top of being a sniper, on top of having like this pretty much like a hit scan gun, like both in Narcomi and them have like the hit scan gun in a sense. Except for when you hit fire. When you aim down sights, it's hit scan. Like you're just gonna hit. But when you hit fire, it's for some reason you have a like if they even just move to the left in a sprint, you have a chance to like randomly shoot behind them. So you have to like aim ahead of them, and then it'll hit them every time. And then you have a stun that can track people up to 3 times, and it just keeps whoop, whoop, boom, and it tracks and it goes after them. If it misses, it goes doot doot, and it goes closer to them, and then boom. And so they have to keep wasting stamina to get away from it. And does insane damage. You could 4-hit kill a Narukami. Just if you hit the Narukami and just hit him, dash once, and then just stand still, boom, boom, boom. And then the Narukami after the second shot is probably going to move. If they don't move, your third shot's going to hit them, and they might finally hit you, but you're only going to be like let's say like you're like 40%, like you lost like 30% of your HP and like 60% of your shield or 80% of your shield. Boo-hoo. That guy's at 1 HP. You just hit him one more time. He might try to grapple hook away, but let's say like now you just hit him again, and or he grapple hooks away, have your hit your 3, and then you could easily, it just auto locks. Your whole screen now is auto lock, right? That's where, like, if people complain, oh, you're playing an auto lock sniper, it's not the whole time I'm hitting flicks. The only time I'm not, like, in a sense hitting the flick is if they have the thing where they could turn off targeting, or the sandstorms happening, or like obviously I'm just doing my normal shots, but then when you hit the 3, it's just the whole screen except for like maybe the almost edges of the tracking now. So then you can hit up to 6 targets at once, and it will lock on and be like do 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 do, and then you just shoot. And sometimes you want to shoot fast, like maybe you only want 2 or 3, because if they even dash a little bit, sometimes they will untarget them, and then you only hit like one guy, or sometimes even nobody. It's just weird, but most of the time you're gonna hit your target. If as long as you have the slightest bit of good tracking, you're gonna hit your target. They probably could just make that slightly smaller screen so it's not as annoying, or like if they want to nerf that, maybe reduce the time that you have that active for like 2 by 2 seconds, and it would still be a great ability, because sometimes I'll pop it and then shoot once and then cancel it. I just want like a really guaranteed shot or something, and it would be on like a shorter cooldown. But a lot of times I'll just pop it and just shoot 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 and try to do as much damage as possible guaranteed. um and does energy damage, so counter Tricera and other characters weak to energy. And yeah, and then Vulcan. Let's move on to Vulcan. Vulcan is the do-it-all character. He's ranged, he's melee. He has a spin to win that also parries, so he just parries you over and over again as a melee. He's resistant to melee damage, and he's a heavy, so he's resistant to a lot of damage in the game, annoyingly enough. He got survivability buffed for some ungod known reason. The other Tricera and him are the most played characters in the entire tournament. You cannot play a match without a Welkin. And the only time he was not played, he had like a 65% or something win rate, play rate. The only times he was not played was because he was banned half the time. So because some teams were just like, screw it, let's just try to duke it out. Because the thing about him is he has the dome, and the dome can help you get point. On top of the dome, you have your third skill, which is a shield. And if you shoot the front of the shield, for some reason, he can keep getting point. It just absorbs the damage and does nothing, no damage. And then if you're an energy-based character, unless you're literally behind him in that little middle section, he will do literally 0 damage unless you hit the front of his shield, like the direct middle of the shield. Then you could kind of help doing shield damage, but most of the time you're going to hit the weird mist that's clinging over the shield that they made really not visible anymore, which is good and bad, because now you don't know where to shoot to either at least hit his shield or hit his back. So that's a really big buff for him, because he can kind of abuse that and kind of play around that and not die to enemy Aquilas, and you can kind of just right click them with your rocket launcher, or it's their left click, I think. I can't remember. One left click or right click your rocket launcher, and then your other button is your melee, and then you could like boost attack into people and boom and dome them in the air. Like he can like, so he's like one of the main finishers. He's one of the main like instigators. Like he's the first one to start to fight. He's if he could protect you, he could like save lives, he could help secure kills. He's range, he's melee, he could do it all. He could fight, like he could stop their melees, he could destroy their melee, whatever. He could do everything. He can fly up in air and stick with it. He could capture the Falcon flying in air, and the Falcon just dies instant as soon as he gets domed. Everything, he just does everything, right? People get mad about Aquila. Oh, you're an Aquila player. Okay, you're a Welcome player. You're playing the other most broken character. I'm not saying my character's not broken. I've been saying I want Aquila nerf all the time, and I played Aquila. I love Aquila for 2 tests in a row, or 3 tests in a row, however long he's been there. And the only time I didn't play him was they nerfed his claw, so it just went straight forward and never tracked, and so it was one of the worst abilities in the whole game. So you had nothing to stop these multitudes of melee characters and flyers to just destroy you over and over. That was the worst time. He literally went from God tier to, what the heck? Where'd he go? What did I do? Oh, there he is. He went from God tier to unusable, and then went back to God tier as soon as they fixed that. Because he literally, that was like the weirdest nerf. They could have nerfed so many other things. Even his survivability is so tanky because he's a heavy sniper, and they nerfed his claw, so then it was just useless. Unless you shot it at a Welkin not moving or something, it was literally pointless. But yeah. That is my tier list. This is what I think is going to be the meta. I don't think it's always going to be like this whole top row in the Solaris. I'm just saying these characters are going to be in every game almost. And then great. So it's like literally the meta is going to be pretty much this entire top row, and then these characters depending on their character's personal skill. Because not every Falcon player can play Sky Raider. Not every Vulcan player or Solaris player is going to be playing Elises or Panther. Not the sniper. I'm an Aquila player, but I don't like playing an Arakami. I just think it's useless. I'm also Aquila. I play Aquila Inferno and a little bit of Stegos, but I just don't like playing Serenith. I just don't think it's that usable. I might if I'm in like a full team and like let's say like with the bans in the tournament, there's one ban per team. Let's say like Aquila's banned and they ban Inferno. Like they ban Aquila and we ban Inferno. Okay, now I have to use Serenith, right? But I don't have to worry about Aquila doming me from across the map, and I don't have to worry about Inferno melting my entire health bar. So at least there's that. I just have to worry about the melees, and I just have to play around my team a little bit better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed that tier list. Hope it wasn't too long. Hope you guys got the information you needed on the current meta, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.